There's something out there.
I wasn't really raised religious, so I've only
I'm not. I don't really believe in the Big Bang. I'm not an atheist.
Okay.
Let's leave the religion to one side.
Yeah.
What do I believe?
I just
Do you believe
think
in the
that
I believe that there's.
it's hard to put into words, but I guess I could say
believe that
the stuff that I do know about religion.
I might even believe in the Big
I
Bang.
can't really dispute it, and I think it's quite a powerful knowledge in there.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't necessarily accept the whole story literally as it is.
No problem.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I can sit
As a Muslim,
I say yes, I believe in God because I'd like to think that whatever God may be, there's a kind of some sort of force that's looking over this whole world. But my personal kind of view on it as it stands is that religion is like a metaphor.
I mean, I believe that we're in a age now where science and religion are kind
If
of
there's a power,
come to terms.
if we choose to call it a God,
Yeah.
do you think that he would have made everything for a reason or no reason?
I would argue.
I think that's a hard question. I think that. It seems like a straightforward question, but
there's nothing.
Sorry, but
what would
the difference
reason is sort of like down to the person's perspective. You know what I mean?
What I would say is based on what is most probable. Like for example, when we say if we exist, what is most likely is there should be a creator.
Nothing's absolute truth.
Exactly. In fact, I was going to say I'm being a bit dishonest.
When we know everything that is being made by us, by those around us, that they always make it with a purpose. Like for example, your jacket, your watch, your shoes, even if it's
even natural things like a flower to pollinate, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Animals to support each other's ecosystem,
Yes.
etc.
Rain,
Sun, everything.
yeah, rain to
It all has a
water.
utility. It all has a
So it looks like there should be some design in it and there should be some purpose behind it.
or a beautiful symphony.
Yes, that works in order in a system.
Yeah, it's just whether there's a conductor or not.
Yes. So then the question comes. So from that, I would say it makes more sense there should be a creator, and he has made things for a purpose. But then comes the question of me and you. What is our purpose?
Well, this is a very good question, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a very important question.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Can I ask what do you think your purpose is?
See,
If it's not too personal.
no, it's fine. Islam is very clear on it in the Quran. Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتَ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا يَعْبُدُونَ. It says that God did not create jinn, which is a separate creation, and mankind except to worship Him. So I believe my purpose is to worship God. When we say worship, it means to recognize Him and to live our life the way He wants.
Yeah.
And then we believe, for example, in the Quran it mentions الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنَ عَمَلًا. It mentions that He has created death and life in order to test us. Who is the best in deeds? So we believe that this life, we're here to recognize God and to live a life which is pleasing to God. In that, obviously, we're human beings. We have to have, we have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to work, we have to have partners. But in Islam, we say all of this is considered
Second to God.
Not second, it's all considered worship. So if I give an example, as human beings, we have desires. Islam would say those desires, if you fulfill it within marriage, this is an act of worship. If you fulfill that desires outside of marriage, then you have disobeyed God.
Yeah.
So that would be considered worship.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that principle makes sense to me.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that I'm like necessarily share the same values as Islam, but I don't agree with promiscuity.
Okay.
And like I think it's like devaluing people, you know, especially women.
Yeah, I think, and also not only the women themselves, but also has an effect on children who may be born in that situation.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And then it has an effect on society.
Yeah, of course. These things are in place for a reason, and it makes sense to have a man and a woman in the household nurturing the children.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem to agree with Islam a lot. do you know the meaning of the word Islam?
Nah, I don't.
Because what it is, because it's an Arabic word.
Yeah.
Because it's an Arabic word, obviously it sounds foreign to us.
Yeah.
But the word itself actually means submission.
Okay.
You submit yourself to God.
Yeah.
So we believe that all the prophets like Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and obviously after Jesus we believe in Muhammad, peace be upon all of them. We believe all of them, they came to teach mankind to worship one God and submit to him, meaning whatever he commanded us, we try our best to fulfill, and whatever he forbids from us, we try our best to stay away from it.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of our life. And then in this, basically there's twofold benefits. One is, like you said, we find in the teachings of Islam how we have relationships between man and woman, parents and children, society, Muslims and non-Muslims, how we conduct ourselves, how we earn our money, how we spend our money. Like for example in Islam, you know, the interest-based system is
I know a little bit about this. Yeah,
it's completely forbidden.
I'm quite shocked by it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's completely forbidden.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Would that mean that, like in the Middle East, for instance, where a lot of Islamic kind of worshipping people are, that there's not so much Rothschild-controlled bank there, or is it still the case that it's infiltrated there?
What happened if you look over history? Like we believe the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he came 1,400 years ago. Within a 23-year period before he died, the whole of the Arabian Peninsula was under Islam.
Yeah.
Then within the next 30 to 40 years, the Byzantine Empire, the Roman Empire, and the Persian Empire had fallen to Islam. So when the Muslims had the upper hand, then the economic system, the education system, the societal system was all based on Islam. Yeah. If a person, in all these societies, people could still be Jewish, they could still be Christian, they had their churches, they had their synagogues, but Islam had the upper hand.
They live under it.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Clipped up.
Yeah. But then when we as Muslims, we became lazy, distracted, busy with the worldly life.
Religion gets diluted.
It became diluted. So the major aspects of Islam, the oneness of God was still there, praying 5 times a day, the masajid. But we suffered losses, we suffered weakness, and the economic system based on interest took over. So these banks are there in the Muslim world. There are alternatives.
Yeah, but
they're still interested. So,
it's like everywhere though. Like here, sorry to interrupt, but like here, by the description of the values of this society, are we living in hell right now?
No. So some people, what they try to say, they say that paradise and hell is
all-in-one,
is a state, and we're living in it now. Yeah. For us, no. It's going to come.
Yeah.
But a person, for example, if a person lives a life without God and they disobey God, they're going to go through hardship in this life in order that they may stop and think and turn back. But the true life is the next life. This life is just a temporary life, a test where we're all going to leave one day, but the real life is going to be in the hereafter, the eternal life. That's what we believe in.
Maybe it's helpful to know, I've grown up as an atheist. Like none of my family are religious in any way. Like apart from my grandma is a Catholic. Yeah. But I mean, not really devout. She doesn't go to church often.
Yeah.
So for me, concepts like this, as much as I'm fascinated by them, and I lean away from the mainstream values of society. So I'm interested in stuff like this. Yeah. But I still find it hard to take on some of the.
No problem.
The things about an afterlife and stuff like that. It just it's so far out of my belief system.
See, there's something where, like in the Quran, Allah gives certain examples. Because obviously, the idea of what happens after we die, no one has seen it.
Of course, can't be proven.
For us, we believe in God, we believe that God has sent messengers, and we believe that the messengers are truthful. So what comes to us from the messengers, we accept it. So because they've informed us, I mean, in Arabic they call it ilm al-ghayb, knowledge of the unseen.
Okay.
Those things which they've depends, because faith in I would say a Christian European sense is not always based on evidence.
It's a chosen belief, not like a at least half based on.
For us, faith has to be based on evidence.
At least an inkling of the truth, at least a taste.
Not evidence. And for us, the evidence is that God sent down a book, the Quran, and He sent a messenger, the last messenger being the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So for us, if it says it in Quran, if the Prophet Muhammad said it, it's a reality.
It's true. Yeah. All right. So I respect that.
So in the Quran, it gives an example of, maybe in the West we don't understand it, but in the Arab world or Africa or Asia they understand it. When the earth becomes dead, and then the rain comes. If the earth is dead, all dried up, there's nothing growing, and then the rain comes, within a few hours or a day or so, I mean, you can look it up, the land will become alive again. It will become green again.
Yeah, of course, it nourishes the land.
So when we see this, when we have, in Islam they say that sleep is the sister of death. It has a lot of things in common. So by the fact that we go to sleep, all of us, we have plans on when we go to sleep, but no one actually knows when they fell asleep. That you have some idea, but the actual time you fell asleep, no one's aware of it.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I've looked into this as well.
And then that life, that waking up in the morning is like the life after death. Like the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he taught us. Alhamdulillahi alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi an-nushur. We say all praises to Allah, the one who has given us life after our death, and to Him we will return. So basically, the fact that the dead land becomes to life, the fact that
the sleeping
we
person.
sleep and we wake up, and the fact that
it's a macro.
And the fact that we've been created in the first place. If Allah can create us from nothing and bring us into existence, then for Him to bring us into existence in the next life is even easier for Him. It's more simpler. So for us, it's not only based on the Quran and the Sunnah, which we would say textual evidence, but it's based on logic and reason. And also, from justice, there should be a day of judgment. So for example, they give an example, a very simple example. You know, a young child. When a young child falls over, and for example, they hit their head on the table, the child will cry. When the mother picks up the child and will hit the table and say, "Naughty table," you'll find that the young child or the baby will become calm. Because human beings, we have this desire for justice. So when this is built into human beings, we say the desire the ability to recognize God is one is built in. The desire for justice is built into human beings. When we have this desire for justice, and then we see in this life of this world, there are people who maybe they live a life of difficulty, of hardship, they're oppressed, and they leave this world without justice being done. We see some people are very powerful, very oppressive, they harm many people, and they leave this world without receiving justice. We say this necessitates that there should be a day of judgment. So not only have we got textual evidence where the Quran is a day of judgment, where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said there's going to be a day of judgment, but even from the natural disposition, it makes sense that there should be a day of judgment. So the point being that
that makes sense.
It's reasonable
for the community. Like if someone's doing bad, it makes perfect sense for people. People want to preemptively protect their family and the ones they love. So why would they allow people to run free hurting people in the community?
So this is the basic of Islam: to believe in the oneness of God, to believe that He sent messengers to teach us. Well, the messengers have basically three main roles. One is to teach us who God is. We say that human beings left alone, they recognize that there's one God. But to know His names, His attributes, attributes, then we need revelation. Second is the way to God. How do we please God? What does God want from us? What does He command? What does He forbid? We say there's a necessity that there should be messengers. And then the third thing the messengers taught is what happens after we die. What happens when we leave this world? So that's the basis of Islam, to believe that God is one. He sent messengers, and there's going to be a day of judgment.
And they told what was going to happen.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you speaking to me.
No problem, sir.
What's your name, sir?
Yusuf.
Yusuf, Asha.
Yeah, Asha. I should have asked at the beginning. Can I give you something to read in your own time, like the Quran and some leaflets?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, no problem. Let me just get them.
Do you know what? I actually intended to read it anyway. So
okay, no problem.
Maybe it'll be a bit of a push for me to actually do it.
In your own time, but we're here every Saturday. If you got any questions, let me just...
which you can verify if you...
Thank you very much. I'll try to value it.
You're right.
I'm saying how it's the...
No.